Ladies and gentlemen, we interrupt your regularly scheduled programming to bring you this special bulletin. When you put your foot in your mouth as a content creator, the internet will be here to record it for posterity for all time. And that is definitely the case. The most recent, incident, you might want to call it, the Elden Ring DLC just came out. And of course, when it comes to Elden Ring and From Software Games, the discussion of difficulty and accessibility always rears its ugly head, almost like clockwork every year or two, where difficulty is equated to accessibility, the need, the desire to put some sort of difficulty slider in a FromSoft game. Yet time and time again, the developer comes out and says, no, that's not the point of our games. That's never the point of our games. But now, the idea of a pause feature, and well, let's get to the putting your foot in your mouth as a content creator. Some of you may know Alana Pierce. Now, I'm not going after Alana Pierce on this one, because lovely, lovely lady, had a blonde moment, but I'm going after talking about what she says. In this article from That Park Place, Santa Monica studio writer Alana Pierce claims having a 2-year-old is a situational diabetes. What? Where am I going? A situational disability. Now, on one hand, I could kind of agree with that. I have some of my own, but you don't say it out loud. That's well, no, I can't really call him that either, huh? A fuck trophy? Can I say that already? We're a minute and a half in. Anyway, you heard what I said. I don't even care about this little last part that John F. Trent put down there, because it has nothing to do with what she said about having a 2-year-old being a situational disability. What on earth? I can't wait for the follow-up video on this one, Alana. What would possibly possess you to say, well, let's find out. Santa Monica studio writer and former IGN editor Alana Pierce recently claimed in a video discussing Elden Ring's DLC Shadow of the Erd Tree and just how difficult it is. There's a lot of people talking about the change in difficulty. Some people apparently believe that they had maxed out level and just was all this uber power, could just go in and walk through the DLC, but apparently that's not the case. They did a little change and shifting here and there. I have not picked it up, so I do not know the specifics, but I've heard from different people, oh, it's too hard, but others going, yeah, it's not too hard. It's just another From Software game, par for the course, and it's fun. So, having a 2-year-old is a situational disability. Okay. Pierce stated, I'm not actually asking for an easy mode. This isn't the intent. Here's the thing I want to spell out when accessibility is concerned. Oh, having children has nothing to do with accessibility. Having children has nothing to do, is definitely not a disability. It is a personal choice. It is a thing that you enter to mostly willingly. Don't come at me, okay? Don't come at me. You know what I mean. Trying to use your child, or the fact that you are a parent, to call for accessibility options in a video game, just let yourself die. Or here's an even better thought. Maybe don't play Elden Ring while your babashes is awake. But honestly, let's see what she actually has to say here. Let's hear her own words. I don't want to put any words in Alana's mouth. Let's hear exactly what she has to say.
Against more customization options. So this is the second half of this video, where I'm going to talk specifically about accessibility and even
accessibility. Accessibility is a very important thing in video games, whether you're talking about someone has issues moving their hands around, or colorblind, or different situations like that. Accessibility is important, but I don't think a pause feature or a difficulty slider has anything to do with accessibility, contrary to anything that Stephanie Sterling says.
Just a lot of people really not understanding the conversation about accessibility in Elden Ring. It has been brought up various times across various mediums by various people that Elden Ring is not, or FromSoft games in general, are not particularly accessible to disabled players.
Then, unfortunately, some disabled players will not be able to play the game. And that is, you could consider that unfortunate, but it is what it is. Not every game is going to be playable by everyone. Now, as far as controller schemes go, or controllers and accessories for your console, for your PC or whatnot, they make many different controllers for different varieties of the disabled. So what is the problem? I don't understand. Let's see if she explains.
People are asking for accessibility. I'm not actually asking for an easy mode. That isn't the intent. Here's the thing I want to spell out where accessibility is concerned. People who are disabled, I felt myself doing it, I'm going to do it, is another tangent. There are also multiple kinds of disabilities, especially where gaming is concerned. There are long-term disabilities. There are situational disabilities. There are
situational disabilities, temporary disabilities, I guess if you get a cast on your hand or whatnot. Now, is a video game developer supposed to cater to those with such temporary disabilities as a broken wrist? That's ridiculous to even consider, because it's temporary. It's a temporary disadvantage. I wouldn't consider it a disability. Disabilities have a tendency to be more long-term. Now, children can definitely be a long-term disability depending on how long they live with you, but to call it anyway,
temporary disabilities. It counts as a disability where a video game like Elden Ring is concerned if you have a kid. You have a 2-year-old?
I'm sorry. This absolutely boggles my mind. Because again, Alana is going to get attacked on all sides for this. And this is, I can only see this, personally, what she's saying, as a flub. Maybe she misspoke. Maybe just, you know, I'm not going to insult the blonde hair, but because that would be uncouth. It's the idea that you're actually going to say the words, having a 2-year-old is a temporary, is a short-term disability, or any sort of, equating a child to having a disability is astounding. This is going to be something unfortunate that Alana Pierce is going to be called out for quite a bit today. It's going to be something that she is known for a considerable amount of time. And it's unfortunate because you're, I don't know how to describe it. I have children of my own. I have 4 of them. 2 of them are adults, 2 of them are not. A few of you have heard them on my live streams and in a couple of videos. So I have never once considered them to be a disability, not in my many, many, many years of parenthood. So the idea that anyone out there, anyone, man, woman, mother, father, grandmother, whatever, could sit there and call a child any sort of temporary disability, whether they're referring to video games or going out and having fun, you work around those things. Like most of my live streams are done when Lanyap is gone to bed. That's what I do, because some things are more important. To sit there and call your child a temporary disability when it comes to video games, you come across as wanting to put the video game, regardless of your job, regardless of your profession, a content creator, whatever, you're putting the video game ahead of your child, and that just feels like such nonsense to me. I do not believe, I would hate to think this is something that she believes, that's something that she thinks, but you said it, darling. And you're going to have to pay the piper in these situations. Like I said, when you put your foot in your mouth as a content creator, it's gonna stick around for a while. So let's see what else. Is there any possible defense? Well, let's see.
You're trying to play Elden Ring, you can't pause. That is a situational disability that...
Oh no, so you're actually going to scrub out, you have to include every single solitary online competitive game, whether it's an MMO or a first-person shooter. You can go from Fortnite to Destiny, PvP, to World of Warcraft. Oh, let's go all the way back to Ultima Online. Let's show my age here. Y'all know I'm old as fuck anyway. But it's not just single-player games, but when it comes to Elden Ring and most From Software games, they have an online component where you have interactions, although minuscule at best, where they leave you notes and blood splatters or whatever, and you have to be online for that. Therefore, you cannot pause. Simply put, don't play the game when your 2-year-old is awake, and when your 2-year-old is asleep, understanding if you've ever had a 2-year-old, they wake up in the middle of the night and come crawl up your butt because they can crawl out of the crib. You better be prepared and accept the consequences of having to put that controller down. It's what you do. It's what you sacrifice as a mother und a father. But let's keep going.
That you have, where the game not having the option for you to be able to pause, for example, is a hindrance for your particular disability, a situational disability. You may need to pause to stop your kid.
I can't stop your kid from putting a fork in a wall socket. So there's things around that. I believe Fertanga said maybe you should put outlet covers. If you have a 2-year-old, you should already have outlet covers on your outlets. But anyway, let's see. Specifically discussing Elden Ring, she said it counts as a No, it doesn't. It does not. I'm sorry. Alana, no. That is the most foolish thing you absolutely said. It does not count as a disability at all when playing any video game. If you have a kid, you have a 2-year-old, you're trying to play Elden Ring, you can't pause. Oh no! Then you're just going to have to accept defeat. That is a situational disability. You're using the wrong terms. Oh, that you have for the game. Not having the option for you to be able to pause, for example, is a hindrance for your particular I don't like the idea of using these words. My goodness. Now John F. Trent goes on. Oh, temporary disabilities. You break your wrist. Okay. Again, not a disability. So hindrance, a temporary disadvantage. You break your wrist, sprain your wrist. You temporarily have trouble playing the game, but you're using the incorrect terminology for it. Third one, long term. That is the only ones that should even matter when anyone is developing a game. Okay. Now, from what I understand, a few people have come back. When it comes to Elden Ring, let's go ahead and put Alana Pierce back on the screen. There are ways that you can make the game pause. They're a little bit more involved, and I can't remember any of them right now. It's I believe it is something along the lines, you go to your equipment, you select an item, and look at the history or the lore or the description of the item, and that will actually pause your game. But again, if you're playing, since we're talking about Elden Ring, if you're playing Elden Ring, you probably shouldn't be playing against the boss in Elden Ring if your child is awake. Maybe that's just me, especially not a 2-year-old. But tell me what you think. Let me know what you think in the comments. Do you think Alana used the proper terminology when talking about trying to play video games and having a child? Do you think, I don't know, do you think she really means this? Do you think she considers, does she have a child? I'm assuming she does because that's what she's talking about in this video. I hope she doesn't consider her child to be a disability. Don't attack her. She said something incorrect, something foolish. Put her foot in her mouth, swallowed it whole. She'll be remembered. But let me know what you think in the comments. Leave a like, leave a dislike. Do all those nifty little things as YouTube is begging to do, and I hope to see you on the next one. Bye-bye.